Oh. Hey everybody, did you enjoy that intro? I hope you did. It was a ton of fun to make. My name is Will, and thankfully, you have found yourself at the Outdoorsman YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be diving into building first aid kits and basic trauma kits. I'm going to show you everything that you need to buy to build your own kits. I'm going to provide you down below in the description with a few links to pre-made kits. Now, pre-made kits are great because they save a lot of time from having to pack them, but generally speaking, they do come with a higher price point. Now, maintaining readiness, which is what we're calling it now instead of prepping, well, this is a very serious business to me. So I just want to tell you right off the bat that none of the links that you'll click on down below are affiliate links. I don't make a dime off of any single link you click. So what qualifies me to teach you about what you should be putting in your kits? Well, first of all, I am CPR certified. I am first responder certified. I have taken several paramedics classes. I have even taken some pretty serious advanced life-saving courses. I have attended many battlefield trauma courses, some of which we did under what they called induced stress, which was gunfire, explosions, screaming. I mean, blood squirting in your face. It was crazy. But those kind of classes are great because they add the maximum amount of realism that you could ever possibly get. And before we get started in the video, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta ask you, if you're enjoying these videos, if you're enjoying this channel, please hit that subscribe button, like and comment. I post new videos every single week, and I can guarantee you that there are videos here for everyone. I also post a lot in the community section, and there are special unedited videos and videos that YouTube does not let me show over on my Patreon. First aid kits, they're not just for prepared citizens like us, they're for everybody, and I think that everybody should at least have 5 first aid kits. Whether you're just at home, whether you're outside with your family, hunting, fishing, working down in your shop, we all get injuries pretty much every single day, so having a kit is paramount. Now this kit right here, this is a physician's care kit. I bought a bunch of these online. I got them. I didn't like the contents, so I zipped it open, I dumped them out, and I made this kit what I wanted it. Pretty much just bought it for the convenient bag. So let's move the camera over to here, and I will show you the entire contents of this kit. So here she is again, this very basic first aid kit. Let's open her up and see what we have inside. I'm going to start from the back of the pouch, work my way forward. First thing that I like to have in here is some Advil. This is an old film case for those of you who like to take photos on film. And I rotate this Advil out about every 6 to 8 months, just in case. The other thing we have in the back here is some Neosporin. This Neosporin is great, but you could also use A&D ointment. Any other off-brand bacitracin is just fine. We also have in here a small ACE wrap. I like having ACE wraps because sometimes you have to immobilize an injury before you can move a person. Again, this is a little bit more for the trauma kit, but also good to have inside of a basic first aid kit, or what I like to call a boo-boo kit. Then we have on the side here, we have some large adhesive Physician's Care brand Band-Aids. I've never used them, that's why they're on the side. In here we have some of the less expensive sterile Band-Aids, and as you can see here, I have all different sizes. We've got your standard regular Band-Aid size, and then we also have a good handful of these very small, I guess you could call them like suture style Band-Aids. I also have in here, as with every first aid kit, I always have a bottle opener for medicinal purposes. Let's take a look at the other side of this kit over here. First is, oh, the heck did that get in there? Now, let's take a look over here. We're going to start back to front again. First thing I have here is some waterproof adhesive tape. This stuff is great. You got to have tape, and I've found that this brand, First Aid, waterproof tape is probably the best. It lasts the longest. It stays sticky for years. We also have in here a small digital thermometer. Digital thermometers are great. They're disposable. They're fairly inexpensive online. Always good to have one in case you got to take a temperature. I also have in here a very small pair of tweezers, you know, for pulling out splinters or foreign bodies out of things. You got to have that in there. One of the other things that I have in here is some Refresh Optive eye drops. This is more for me. I need eye drops from time to time. Long story short, torn corneas. But yeah, I like to have some eye drops in there, you know, for whatever reason you might need, put them in there. We also have some Fisherman's Friends cough drops. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fisherman's Friends cough drop, my God, these are the best cough drops ever invented. They taste like hell, but they really help soothe a sore throat. So highly recommend the Fisherman's Friend. We also have in here some non-stick gauze pads. Now, this is what I got to talk about for a second. Having a non-stick gauze pad, your patient is going to thank you later. Reason being, it doesn't stick to the skin. If you're using a traditional gauze pad, oftentimes it will stick to the wound, and when you take it off, you're peeling off a scab, yada yada. I know it's gross, but trust me, we got to think about the patients when we're putting together our kits. Non-stick pads are the way to go. I also have in here some alcohol prep pads. I really like these. I've found that these last the longest. But if you were going to put something in your kit that would last longer, I would recommend putting in a small tube of betadine. That stuff works great. Also have in here, it's opened, but it never goes bad, a little bit of Water Gel's triple antibiotic. I love this stuff. Triple antibiotic is one of the best things out there. Now, when you're building your first aid kit, I need you to think about accessibility. Like what you just saw in that kit, I don't always need Advil or eye drops right off the bat, so I put those in the back. I leave the more utilized products up front, like those Band-Aids or the adhesive bandages. Now, a similar kit that you're seeing on screen right now, this is an IFAK, or individual first aid kit. I have one of these on each gun belt that I own. I also have one that I keep on my regular belt when I'm out hiking or hunting. But I have to remind you guys once again that you need to rotate out these supplies. Make sure that the stuff that you have in your kit is fresh so that if you actually need to use it, you will have good medical supplies. Now, a great way to remember to rotate the contents of your kits is to use technology. Personally, I own an iPhone, so in the calendar, I set a reminder to open up my kit, take a look at the contents inside, and order fresh supplies. I then have another reminder a little ways down the road to actually replace those supplies. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the fun one. Let's talk about trauma kits. Longtime viewers of the channel, you might recognize this bad boy. Yes, this is the trauma kit that I keep in my vehicle. I have other trauma kits. I even have ones that are full backpacks, but we're going to focus on this one right now because it's my smallest kit. Now, we are not going to go through everything that I have in this kit because a lot of components require specialized training. If you don't have the training, you should not be possessing these instruments. So let's move the camera over and take a look at what I have in this bag. All right, here's my trauma kit. Let's get into it. Now, I have labeled the outside of the bag here so that if I hand this kit to anybody, they can say, okay, this is my first line gear. Gloves, gauze, tape, etc. So we're going to open up this pouch now, folks. I'm not going to get into everything I have in here because as you can see, this kit is packed to the gills. So first things first, in my trauma kit, I actually do have a basic boo-boo kit. This is a scrape kit from First Line. It has all kinds of just basic, it's got some gloves in here and, you know, things like that. Always good to have a boo-boo kit in your trauma kit. I also have in here some non-sterile gauze. I like to have a bunch of non-sterile gauze. Don't ask me why, but I just like to have it. No rhyme or reason. You don't need to put it in yours. We also have a Ziploc bag here full of Band-Aids. I replace these a lot because, especially in the wintertime in New England, yeah, it affects the adhesiveness of these adhesive bandages. So make sure you swap those out. This one here, I have a whole bunch of sterile gauze in all kinds of different sizes, you know, all the way up to these nice little, you know, 4x4s. 4x4s are probably the most universal sterile gauze packs you're going to buy. So make sure you get some of those. And it's pretty much the same in here. I've got more Aleve, Advil, Bayer, aspirin, you know, if someone's having a heart attack, safety pins, a fever scan tool, all of that good jazz. And again, it's just more of the basic stuff. This is all ointments and prep kits, triangular bandages, more tape, all kinds of stuff in here. Okay, we're going to get into this big pouch, but we're not going to go too deep into the weeds of the big pouch because I have so much stuff in here. It's absolutely ridiculous, but let's just go through some of the basics. This is one of 4 tourniquets that I have in this kit. I like to have a tourniquet for every single limb. I also have a whole variety of hemostats and scissors and these funky little tweezer doodads with a magnifying glass on them. In the back here, these are all chest seals. There's a whole bunch of micro-touch gloves. There's all kinds of stuff in here. I mean, swabs, stethoscope, blood pressure cuff kit, everything. I've got everything in here that you could possibly need. This is a suture container. So in here we have things like, we've got some needles in here. We've got some lidocaine in here. I've got 3 suture packs in there in case we have to do some pretty decent suturing. Not everybody should have a suture kit. If you're going to have a suture kit, you need to learn how to do suturing. In this pouch here, again, I'm not going to get too big into it, but I have a full intubation kit in here, as well as a ton of sterile tools in case I need to do something a little bit more advanced. Now we're going to go back to camera here and we're going to go through exactly what you should have in your basic beginner trauma kit. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, if you take one thing from this video, this is the most important tool you could have in any trauma kit. That's right, a Sharpie. The Sharpie is so important. If you place a tourniquet on a person, you must write down the time. If you intubated someone, you want to write down the time. You just simply take the Sharpie off and you write it directly on their skin. The Sharpie, ladies and gentlemen, you got to have at least one in your trauma kit. All right, folks, now's a good time to grab a piece of paper and a pen. Pause the video if you want to, and we're going to go down the line here for all the things that you should be having in your basic trauma kit. The first thing, number 1, is a cat tourniquet. Like I said in the other part, I want to have 1 tourniquet per limb. The next thing is going to be chest seals. These are great for sucking chest wounds and even some pretty large bullet holes. Following that, we want to have some quick clot or hemostatic gauze. I prefer the quick clot, but sometimes the hemostatic gauze isn't quite as painful. The Israeli pressure bandage, oh my God, let me tell you, the Israeli pressure bandage is an amazing thing, and I highly recommend you buy dozens of them. One thing that you didn't see in the kit was trauma shears. That's because they're in the bottom of that bag. I want to recommend to you all to have 2 sets of trauma shears. That way, if you drop one or put one down or lend one to somebody else, you will still have a pair. Now, nitrile gloves. Nitrile gloves are a very important thing. You want to make sure that you get some that are bloodborne pathogen safe. For some reason, I have no idea why, but everybody seems to be allergic to something in this country. So please don't buy latex gloves. We don't want to be killing our patients who happen to have a latex allergy or whatever other allergy that they have. You want to make sure you throw in an emergency blanket. Emergency blankets are great. Back in the day, we used to call them space blankets, but they're just a Mylar blanket. You want to throw a couple of those in there too. It keeps people warm if they need them. And as you saw at the end of me showing you the kit, for the love of God, throw some Sharpies in there. Sharpies, you got to write stuff down. These Sharpies are crucial for relaying information to actual trained professionals. Trust me, they're going to ask you a lot of questions, and we have a hard time remembering things during stressful situations if we are not used to operating in stressful situations. No matter how well stocked your kits are, if you don't have training, all of that stuff in there doesn't mean anything at all. You guys got to take a first aid course. You got to take a CPR course. A lot of fire departments put these on for free. I suggest calling them. Go on Google, take a look and see in your area what the Red Cross is putting on. Now, before you guys click off, let me know down in the comments, what is one thing you could never be without in either your first aid kit or in your trauma kit? If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. Please make sure you guys have subscribed. Do me a favor, share this video with a friend. Share it on Facebook. Make sure you've got those notifications turned on, blah, blah, blah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for letting me entertain you for the day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.